Welcome to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show. I am James Ham, live on the floor of Sleep Train Arena here in Sacramento. Sacramento Kings fall flat on their face tonight, lose to the Orlando Magic by a final of 105-96. This was a Jason Thompson game. Very strange game. Jason Thompson, who's had a lot of struggles this year on the offensive end. Without DeMarcus Cousins tonight, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a block that was stolen from him. Not only that, but he holds Channing Frye to 2 of 7 shooting, and one of those shots wasn't even on him. It was a wild three-pointer that ended up changing the whole entire complexity of this game. Outside of Thompson, we had a very nice game out of Darren Collison. Collison finishes with 22 points. He actually played quite a bit of two-guard down the stretch while Ramon Sessions played at the point. It was an interesting look, but he ends up scoring 10 points in the fourth quarter, including a couple of big three-pointers. This is something that we should be watching for later on, because Collison playing off the ball looked very effective as a shooter, which the Kings have struggled with their outside shot all season long. So keep an eye on that going forward. One thing that Jason Thompson talked about in the locker room was that the Sacramento Kings keep playing down to their competition tonight.
It's a shame because we could play better than that. We're definitely a way better defensive team. But like I said, it's tough to be on the other end of a win when you keep taking the ball out the basket.
So where do you guys feel overall you're at now, 10-10, this 500 mark?
We're okay. We just got to watch film, and I don't think we could play. No offense to them or any other team, but we can't play to the level of competition. I think that sometimes we're at our best when we play against the best teams with the best records. And I think we should just have that type of fire regardless of who we play against.
They are a better team than the Orlando Magic. They should not have lost this game on their home floor, especially considering that Orlando was on the final end of a 6-game road trip. They split the 6-game road trip 3-3, a very nice road trip for the Orlando Magic. But again, the Sacramento Kings are, a good team at home and probably should have won this game overall. Rudy Gay finishes with 16 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He's really found a niche as a passer for this team, a facilitator, something that we did not expect early in this season. He was very unhappy about this loss in the locker room. His man, Tobias Harris, went off for 27 points, including a lot of really big baskets down the stretch. This was a game, again, where the Kings played down to their competition. Rudy was not happy. The Kings aren't looking for any excuses here with regards to DeMarcus Cousins missing games or anything else. They think that they're a good team, and they're ready to push forward and start winning like a good team. Tonight was a major league step back for this team.
It was like day and night. We played great defense at stretches, and then we let them get what they wanted at stretches. We couldn't dig ourselves out of those holes we made. I think we were riding off the high of last game. We had the highs to the high last game, and now we have the lowest to the low. Losing a game like that. So that's something we have to get better at.
The Sacramento Kings bench was an absolute disaster tonight. The main 5 guys that come off the bench, Stauskas, Landry, Evans, Caspi, Sessions, they go a combined 4 of 23. Sessions did have some nice moments down the stretch. He had 6 assists in the fourth quarter, but overall these guys finished with 19 points. Again, 4 of 23 shooting. Absolutely ridiculous. They came in flat. They really let this team down, and we've seen that periodically throughout this season with that group. Now, again, Derek Williams comes off the bench. Shocking, again, for the second game in the last 3. Derek Williams finishes with 14 points on 6 of 8 shooting. All 14 of his points come in the fourth quarter as he tried to keep this team in the game. When he's aggressive, he seems to be really good. I don't know what's going on with him, but over the last couple of games, he seems to have found something inside him that makes him want to try harder, which is something that effort has been an issue with Derek Williams throughout his NBA career. Let's go to our 3 keys to the game. The first key is defending the arc. The Sacramento Kings hold the Orlando Magic to 9 of 26 shooting from behind the arc. Tobias Harris, again, 4 or 5 from behind the arc, but outside of that, the Kings did a very nice job. Channing Frye hits that just gut-wrenching shot that really changed the complexity of this game. That happened at the 2:54 mark of the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. The Kings had they had tied the game. Orlando goes up by 2. They get a defensive stop, they think, and just as the shot clock is expiring, he hits a 30-footer, 28-footer, and just knocks it down. that was one of the very few three-pointers that the Kings let up tonight. They did a very nice job of defending the arc, which was one of our keys to the game. Second key is the big Vuk. Well, Vucevic didn't play tonight. The big man out of USC is struggling with some lower back problems, and the Kings did a nice job of defending most of the time the guys who replaced him, except for Kyle O'Quinn. Kyle O'Quinn got crazy on the Kings early. He scored a bunch of points. He didn't miss a single shot, 5 of 5 from the field, including a three-pointer from the corner, which I don't think he's hit many of those in his career. They kept him off the glass. I think he finished with 1 rebound, but a pretty solid effort defensively in the post by Jason Thompson, Ryan Hollins. Our last key to the game is big statement. Will the Kings mail it in? Unfortunately, the Kings did mail it in. This is a game that they should have won. There's no excuses that you can make for this game. The Kings came out flat. They looked bad early. They made a nice comeback, but when you're playing the second night of a back-to-back and you try to make a big comeback, there's most of the time you run out of gas near the end of the game. So that's what happens when you let a team that's not as good as you come on your home floor and beat you for 3 quarters. Fortunately for the Kings, they didn't have enough in the tank tonight to make a big comeback and finish this game off. So they dropped to 10-10 on the season, which is a major disappointment. This early December where they have a lot of easy games is not turning out to be that easy, especially without DeMarcus Cousins. So they're going to need to get back on the right path. Our MVP of the game tonight, I'm going to go with Jason Thompson. Again, he had a huge game for the Kings, 18, 9, 4 assists. His mom was in the stands, which is always a big deal for Jason Thompson throughout his career. Anytime you see him in Philadelphia or New Jersey, he's always killing those teams. His parents are in the stands, and again, when they're here in Sacramento, he always seems to play extremely well. So a big night for JT. His best offensive performance of the season, his season high before tonight was 15 points. I think tonight he shoots 6 of 8 from the field. He was really good, and his teammates let him down for the most part because he was good on both ends of the floor, and the Kings were not good on the defensive end of the floor. Michael Malone was beside himself after this loss, not at all happy, and he's a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeves.
We just were not ready to play, and I've said it many times to all of you. We are a very inconsistent team, and when we decide to show up and play defense, we're competitive and we usually win. And when we show up and we don't defend and we don't execute and our offense struggles, we lose. There's no secret to our success or lack thereof.
So the Sacramento Kings fall to the Orlando Magic tonight, 105-96. They will be back in action here on Monday night against the Utah Jazz, followed by a back-to-back in LA against the Lakers on Tuesday. They are 10-10 on the season. DeMarcus Cousins may or may not be back on Monday. Michael Malone was not very sure about that point. He said that Cousins has not played. He has not practiced at all week, and they're still concerned about his energy level and other issues. So he's not coming back and playing 35 minutes on Monday or Tuesday. So people who are expecting that should just forget it. I do expect him to play because he always loves to play against Derek Favors, and he's playing the Utah Jazz and Derek Favors. So expect DeMarcus Cousins in uniform from what I know, and expect a solid performance out of him, even though he might not have the energy that he usually plays with. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Postgame Show. I am James Ham at Sleep Train Arena. Thanks for joining us.